Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I wanted to get started on um, more complicated Python stuff, specifically variables. So yeah, today we're going to get started with variables, and let's just jump right into it. So last time we learned about the print statement. So there we go. And that's cool and all. We could use that, but the thing is we want to be able to store data. In any sort of program, there's some storing data going on. So how do we do that? Actually, I'm going to delete all that. So what we can do, we can create a variable. So to create a variable, let's just call this variable. You can name it whatever you want. This is the name of the variable. This is how you're going to reference the variable later in your code. Um, so you just choose the name for your variable, create an equal sign, and type in whatever you want. So first, I'm going to go with an integer. So let's go with like 18. And actually, before I show functionality on that, I want to show you guys comments as well. Just type a hashtag and all this will not affect your code. But anyway, I just wanted to do, this is your variable. And right here, you are basically saying is set to and then 18. So that's the value. This right here is the value. The equal sign is basically means is set to, and that right there is the variable name. So how do we call it? So we could do print variable. And it'll print it for us. Now let's say we change the name. Say hello. We could put this one as hello, and there we go. So then we could also have it be like hello world. So let's just name it H instead. And you guys should not be naming variables just one letter unless it's like a very temporary variable. Then I would generally use X or A, XYZ or ABC. But there we go. So let's say we wanted to change it, right? Later in the program, we want to change the variable H. So what we could do is change H to say goodbye. So what we're doing is we're changing it right here. But the thing is, since this is an interpreted language, and right here I'm going to explain what that means, or well, actually in the last video I explained that that means everything is read line by line. That means that this line is read first, and we're printing out this H. So it still says hello world. And if we were to print H after changing the value of H, we will see it actually changes, but only after we change it. So that's what it means that it's an interpreted language. Now it's not completely interpreted; it's also compiled, but that is something that can be explained by someone else. We're not really going to get into that because it's not all that important. So yeah, that's how you create variables. But here's the thing, there's different types of variables. So we have strings, and that is something like hello world, right? We have integers, which are numbers. Now we also have floats. A float is like anything with a decimal point. So generally, if you were to do math with two floats, they would come out as a float. So if you were to do like, and we'll get to actual math operations in a bit, but if you were to do like, let's say, even if it was 1.0 times 1.0, or 1.0 times 2.0, the resulting value would be a float, or even 1 times uh, 10.0, it would still come out as a float. You guys will see that a little bit more in a second. And when dividing stuff, it's always going to end up as a float. Um, Again, we'll see that some more in a second. There's also booleans. Yeah, booleans. So that is true and false, always with a capital letter. And these are just two binary values. So if something is true, it will return true. If something is false, it will return false. And you could use the value of true and false inside of a variable. So next, what we want to do, actually, I want to show that functionality. Real quick, let's do variable 1 is equal to 7 and variable 2 is equal to 8. If we were to print variable 1 equal to variable 2. Now, this is actually incorrect syntax. Equal, equal, two equal signs. I always refer to it as equal, equal. But two equal signs is basically to see if two values are equal to each other. So this is comparing two values. If we are to run that code, it prints out false because they are not equal to each other. But if we were to do 7 for both variables, then it will print out 2. We'll get more into comparisons in later videos when we get to if statements. But next up, let's create a new variable and set it equal to 1 plus 2. So before I print this out, I want you guys to think, what will this do? I'll give you guys like 2 seconds to think about it. Is it going to be an error? Is it going to work? Is it going to be 12? So if we were to run that, we actually do get 3. So yeah, we could do that sort of stuff. So we could even do it in a print statement, 2 plus 16. And if we are to run that, we get 18. We could also do multiplication. We could do division, and we get a float in return for that one. And we can do subtraction. So yeah, that's math in Python. So let's say variable 1 is set to 3. We want to create a variable 2 and set that to, let's say, 4. So let's say we want to do variable 1 is equal to variable 2, right? And let's print variable 1. So what do you guys think will happen right here? This variable is actually reset to the value of this variable. So with that being kept in mind, let's do what happens if we do variable 1 plus variable 2. Variable 1 will be updated to its original value plus plus a different value, which is variable 2. And there we go. So now this is a bit complicated, or I always thought this looked complicated. Variable 1 is equal to variable 1 plus variable 2. It's weird. So we could shorten this to variable 1 plus equals variable 2. So this increments variable 1 by variable 2. And right there we will get the same result. We could also do this by with division. We could do this with multiplication. We could do this with subtraction. Now, one last thing for the end of this video. I want to show you double. Let's do 32. So if we do, let's do 33 divided by 2. If we were to do that, we would get back 16.5. Let's say we don't want a float. We want it to be, if we want to take out these final values from it, the final digits from it, if we don't want it to be a float. So if we run that, we're going to get it rounded down, always rounded down, I believe. That's with double uh, division symbols. And then if we were to do some, there's multiplication, right? Now, if we wanted to um, use an exponent, we would actually do two multiplication symbols. And there it is. And I believe there should be like two more things. Well, if you wrap stuff in parentheses, it's always going to work. It'll just do the parentheses first, obviously. And then I believe the last thing I want to show you guys is modulo. So this concept is um, complicated for a lot of people, and I feel like people overcomplicated it sometimes. So, okay, first let's do dividing, right? 16.5. So let's say we wanted to see the remainder after doing 33 divided by 2. So if we were to do modulo, and that's a percent symbol, we would get the remainder. So if we were to do 10, what's the remainder of 33 divided by 10? It's going to be 3. So there's a few more stuff. You guys can mess around with that. Would I guess since last time I gave you guys a little thing to mess around with, I would say try to create just create two variables, add them together. I don't know. This is really small basic stuff, and yes, this is still basics. We're gonna get to more complicated stuff very soon. Next up, I'm actually going to add some functionality that will allow you guys to do sort of like uh, what's it called, Magic 8 Ball. Yeah, I'll do that in the next video. But for now, that's it because I want to keep these videos short for now. So I guess that's all, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.